Hi guys, today we're going to start lesson 3.8 and that starts on page 195. But you know me, I like to skip around a little bit, so we're going to skip that page and go right on to page 196. Today we're going to work on actually adding decimals, but I'm sure you've caught on now in this book, they like you to still keep on estimating. So the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and estimate our problem. So they have us here in step 1, and it says estimate the sum. So they show you that 20 and 4/10 is going to estimate to 20, and 13 and 76 is going to estimate to 14. So 20 plus 14 is 34. Now to find the actual answer, we're going to look over here. And it says add the hundredths first, then add the tenths, ones, and tens. Regroup as needed. So you work right to left just like you would any other addition problem you've ever been taught. And in this case, you see that they wrote down 20.4, but they added a 0 in that blue ink. They added a 0 just so that it evens out the columns. A 0, remember, doesn't add any value. So when we're adding, 6 plus 0 is 6. 4 plus 7 is 11. 3 plus 0 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So you would get 34 and 16 hundredths. And if you can see, your decimal comes straight down from where the other two are. You always keep your decimals in line. So our actual answer, we said, is 34 and 16 hundredths. Let's try some more down here. All right, so for number 1, we have to estimate first, and then we go ahead and add. In this case, I have 2 and 5/10 and 4 and 6/10. So in this case, 2.5, 5 or greater, we go up. So I'm going to go ahead and estimate that to 3. And then we have 4.6, 6 is greater than 5, so our 4 then becomes a 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So our estimate will be 8. And then we can go ahead and actually add. So 6 plus 5 is 11, and we can drop our decimal straight down. And 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So our actual answer is 7.1, which is also read as 7 and 1/10. Look at number 2. So we're going to go ahead and estimate again. And 8 and 75 hundredths is definitely closer to 9. And 6 and 43 hundredths is closer to 6. Remember, we have to be over 5 or over to go up. So 9 plus 6 is 15, and that will be our estimate. And then now we can add our actual number. 5 plus 3 is 8. 7 plus 4 is 11. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 6 is 15. And if you haven't already, drop your decimal straight down. And your answer should be 15 and 18 hundredths. Number 3, estimate first. 2 and 3 hundredths is definitely closer to 2. And 7 and 89 hundredths is closer to 8. 8 plus 2 is 10, so our estimate is 10. And then we add our numbers. 9 plus 3 is 12. 8 plus 1 is 9. Drop your decimal. And 2 plus 7 is 9. So you should get 9 and 92 hundredths. Couple more and then I'll get you to your homework. This time it's written a little bit different. You're going to have to actually rewrite this to solve it, but we can estimate it right now the way that it is. So 6 and 34 hundredths is closer to 6, and 3 and 8 tenths is closer to 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10, so that's my estimate. And then now I gotta rewrite my problem vertically so that I'm able to line up my decimal. Now, you can choose to leave this area blank here. Some people, it's hard for them. They don't like to leave that blank. So if it helps, you can go ahead and put in a 0 here just to even up the columns. So 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 3 is 11. Drop your decimal. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 3 is 10. So your actual answer would be 10 and 14 hundredths. And our last one. 5 and 63 hundredths is closer to 6. 2 and 6 tenths is closer to 3. That would give us an estimate of 9. And then we rewrite our problem so that we can see it better. And remember, we line up the decimals, not the numbers. Again, I can add a 0 here to even up my columns, or my place that I use. And then I add. So 3 plus 0 is 3. 6 plus 6 is 12. So I carry my 1, drop my decimal. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. So you should get 8 and 23 hundredths. So that's actually it for today, guys. It's pretty easy. You all know how to add, so it shouldn't be too hard. You're basically just making sure that you line up the decimals, not the numbers. So for homework, you guys have 1 through 10 all. If you're in the blue group, you're doing 2, 4, 6, and 8. But the rest of you are doing 1 through 10 all. Remember, we're not going to do number 11, so if you want, you can go ahead and put an X through it, whatever you want to do. Also, remember, I would like you to be doing your work in your workbook, and then you take a picture to turn it in. Or what you could do is, if you prefer, you can use Notability, so you'd have to open it through Google Classroom or Weekly Agenda, send it to Notability, and then turn it in that way. But just remember, if you use Notability, it has to be neat enough that I can read it, and it has to have all your work on it. Hope you guys are having